What up, everybody? Good morning and happy Tuesday, everybody. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk studios this morning. A big thanks for tuning in. However, you're tuning in, if it's on those radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, streaming online at sportstalk1051.com. Got your smart devices like your Alexa devices. Download the app, take it on the go. And of course, the video streams that are up and rolling YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch this morning. But if you are already up and at it here, we appreciate you making us a part of your start here this morning. What do we have on our game plan for us? We've got a full game plan coming to you. Brewers dropping game one of their 3-game series against the Pirates at home, 5-4. Brewers, I call it tonight. You got to win tonight's game. Got to win tonight's game. But before we get to that, last night, Chad Patrick going 5 innings, giving up 9 hits, 4 earned runs. Did strike out 9 in his 5 innings, but I think it's fair to say kind of an up and down performance for Chad Patrick last night. Not as efficient and such, but Brewers clawed back after being down being down 1-0 after the first, and then being down 3-0. Brewers cut it down to 3-2 through 4. Pirates added 1 in the fifth, but thanks to a Christian Yelich 2-run blast in the bottom of the fifth, tying it up. But then the Brewers gave it right back, allowing a run in the top of the sixth. And that was it for the scoring. 14 total hits for the Pirates last night on those 5 runs. So, as we mentioned, Christian Yelich collecting a couple more hits. He continues to stay hot from the plates with that 2-run shot, his 15th of the season. Collins adding a couple hits as well. Ortiz too, and Durbin and Trang. In fact, the only players in this lineup to not collect a hit was Bowers, who was close to that 9th inning potential walk-off home run, but he had no hit for Bowers, and Friedrich did get on base, but no hits, and Chirio also hitless with a K2. So, but it was a career night for Gonzalez for the Pirates. Brewers just could not get that guy out. 5 for 5 with a couple of RBIs. And then, of course, Reynolds, who's always had success against the Brewers, he collected a couple of hits, too, along, striking out 3 times there, too. Tommy Pham picking up his first home run of the season. He also collected a couple of hits for the Pirates. So, Brewers, again, I think tonight's a got-to-win game. A got-to-win game, because you drop this one, you're in some serious danger about potentially being swept by the Pirates at home. Unacceptable if that's the case. But you get Freddie Peralta on the mound tonight for the Brewers, so maybe feeling pretty good about your chances with that one. Going up against Heaney, who's a left-handed pitcher for the Pirates. Brewers do have a little bit of experience going up against him. Pirates definitely have a lot more experience going up against Peralta. And when you look at some of the big names within this lineup for the Pirates, they've had some decent success against Freddie Peralta too. Reynolds, 33 career at-bats, and he's hitting .364 against him. McCutchen, 15 career at-bats, hitting at .333. So, but we'll recap more of this and preview it coming up here in just a little bit. We'll hit that up coming up in just a little bit as we talk some more Brewers baseball, including a Brandon Woodruff update, because got to have that. We've had that a lot this season, but another positive update, knock on wood, that at some point we could just stop having these updates and just get to, game wise and such. But we'll hit that up coming up here in just a little bit. What else do we have on the docket here this morning? I mean, NBA wise, Drew Holiday getting traded, going back to the Blazers, where he spent a hot minute there with the Damian Lillard trade. So Celtics trading Drew Holiday to the Blazers for a player that was kind of sort of mentioned as maybe a potential Bucks target, potential Bucks trade target, Anthony Simmons. So the Celtics, though, jumping in on that one and acquiring Anthony Simmons for Drew Holiday, and obviously some draft picks and such there too. So, but I didn't realize Holiday 17 entering his 17th season already. I still feel like Drew Holiday and his Bucks tenure. Still feel like Drew Holiday is one of the more appreciated, maybe even a little more underrated NBA players in recent history. I feel like that. I'm not trying to be a homer. I like Drew Holiday. I like Drew Holiday a lot, especially what he did with his Bucks time. But when he was with like the Pelicans and such, you look at some of his numbers and you look at what he's done. Obviously, the defensive side is what really everybody kind of talks about and such. But I think Drew Holiday has been massively underappreciated and underrated, and for a lot, not maybe necessarily by teams so much, but maybe from outsiders and that. I'll admit it, like I was thinking, okay, if Drew Holiday is getting traded to the Blazers, could this be a buyout sort of thing? And would he become available on the free agency? Could we bring Drew Holiday back to the Bucks? But it sounds like that's not going to be the case, and it sounds like the Trailblazers are going to hold on to him. I mean, reading a little bit here, it seems like it was the Trailblazers that were kind of aggressive in trying to get Drew Holiday back. This was according to Shams from ESPN. Portland moved aggressively to reacquire Holiday. So there goes that pipe dream, I guess. But the offseason definitely in full swing now after the finals. You had the KD trade and now the Drew Holiday trade, and of course the draft coming up here. So, but yeah, if there was any Bucks fans waking up this morning and seeing that and had the same reactions I did, like, oh, does that mean Drew Holiday could potentially be available in the free agent market or such? Doesn't sound like that's going to be the case. So, but I guess never say never. Never say never. So, coming up in a couple of hours, we're going to talk to RJ Cardinal, our Badger analyst, and quite a bit to digest with the Badgers, because this goes back to Friday, the news that the Badgers filing a lawsuit against the University of Miami for tampering and eventually poaching Xavier Lucas. I mean, this has been an ordeal that has been going on for months now, and it doesn't feel like it's going away anytime soon. But as Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports said Friday, it's a landmark moment in college sports. So we'll talk to RJ about this and this never-ending Xavier Lucas saga with the Badger football program. So that'll be coming up about 8:25 this morning. Right before that, we'll do our usual Tuesday Eau Claire Express chat, catching up with our friends from the Express. The Express returned to Carson Park last night. Did get shut out by the Lacrosse Loggers. The Express hit the road again for a couple more nights here, taking on Lacrosse before returning back to Carson Park on Thursday. So we'll do that. We're gonna play a couple things here. We're gonna, instead of our bench start cut that we're gonna do that we do on Tuesdays, we're gonna do a little start, bullpen, minors, or cut. Okay, obviously you can tell it's baseball version when it comes to pitchers, and we're looking at it from the Brewers side of things. 4 pitchers to choose from, 4 options here: Brandon Woodruff, Nestor Cortez, Jed Patrick, and Quinn Priester. Start, bullpen, minors, cut/trade. So we'll hit that up and have a little fun with that. But you can start to send me your picks already for that if you'd like by hitting me up on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Yesterday kind of threw it out there in the show, and then last night put it up on my Facebook, facebook.com/Kasper Sports. Your biggest sports annoyances, whether it's like when you go to a game and this always annoys you from a fan if fans do this, or maybe it's a gimmick from a team or something like that. Your biggest, or maybe it's just something else that's just kind of more general in that. What's your biggest sports annoyances? And let obviously keep it appropriate so we can mention it on the air and such. But what are your big, and it could be all over the place. I'm not necessarily looking at like teams not spending enough money sort of thing. I'm looking for something, we use the example. Hey, if somebody says, uses the wrong terminology to describe something, or the wave on the wave in the stadium is something like that. Not necessarily how teams do their roster construction. So anybody saying my biggest sports annoyance is Mark Annoyances for not spending. That's we're not necessarily looking for something like that. We're looking for something, again, whether it's the wave or whether it's the wrong terminology or whatever, just like those little bit of annoyances, like gosh dang it, or like when you go to a game and there's always this fan that does this, or somebody throwing peanut shells on the top of your head from the upper deck or something. Like I don't know, just what's your sports annoyances. So a lot of you chimed in on my Facebook page last night, which I appreciate. We'll go through some of those coming up a little bit later, but again, you can hit me up with a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, or comment on the video streams, or again, you can hit me up on the socials at DANKSPR. That is X/Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. I need some more followers on Instagram. I want to start to use that a little bit more instead of X and that. So Instagram's Dan Kasper Sports, all one word, or Facebook.com/Kasper Sports. So we'll play that a little bit. We're going to play a little What If Green Bay Packers edition, because it actually is a big day in Packers history. I mean, you'll find out about it, or you'll hear more about it throughout the day for our Muldoon's Menswear's Wisconsin sports moments. But for this case, it was this day in 1922, over 100 years ago, that the American Professional Football Association changed their name to the National Football League. However, in a Green Bay sense, it's a big day because it's also the same day that the Packers were readmitted to the league. They were readmitted because at the beginning of the year, they were actually ousted from the league for using college players under assumed names in a non-league game at the end of the 1921 season. I believe it was actually against Racine. So big day because in history, because they're back in the league. What if they weren't readmitted? You know what I mean? Like, what if? What if they weren't readmitted? So let's say they weren't readmitted. Do you think Wisconsin eventually would have an NFL team, a pro football team? Would it be back in Green Bay? Probably Milwaukee, maybe Madison, maybe nothing at all. What do you think? We'll play a little what if with that. And then, of course, it kind of fits with our sports annoyances just by pure coincidence. It is a Toyson Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. So what the heck is grinding your gears? Again, make it appropriate. Let us know. Get it off your chest. I want to hear from you. We all have something that's grinding our gears. All right. There's something that's just grinding our gears. So send those puppies on over. Lots to get to. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Let's start off talking a little baseball here. Brewers dropping game 1 of this Pirate series. How many of you are on board with me thinking that tonight it's a big game? Because I do not want to lose this series to the Pirates. You can't. You can't lose this series to the Pirates. So we'll recap last night's game, do a little starts, bullpen, cut/trade, minor league, because it's related to the Brewers. We'll get you a Brandon Woodruff update and then look ahead to tonight's matchup with Freddie Peralta on the mound. Lots to get to here, and I want to hear from you. Start to text me, start to hit me up on the socials, start to comment on the video streams, all that good stuff. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the leadoff. If you happen to be watching the video stream right now, you're probably noticing the brand new, bigger, better title belts for the Casper Classic this year. Legit, bigger, better. Drape it all over the shoulder and look like a pro wrestler right now with this thing. So if this doesn't motivate you to sign up for the Casper Classic, I don't know what the heck can get you over there. I mean, these things right now, legit. Look at this baby. I'm gonna have to. Well, after I win this one this year, I might have to get another customized one just to put up in my man cave and such. But yeah, we went bigger and we went bolder and we went better this year for our title belts for the Casper Classic. So get your team signed up right now before it's too late. Sports Talk of 1051.com. It's right on the homepage. You'll see the icon over there. You can sign up. Your two-person team, just $90. $90 for your team, not per individual, per team. So if you want to do the math, it's $45 per person. So if you're like, hey, Johnny, I'll sign us up, but you owe me $45. Okay, it's $90. Johnny, you owe me 45. All right. So that includes your round. 9 holes, you get the carts, you get your meal, you get some drink tickets and such, and you get to golf at the gorgeous and fantastic Lake Hallie Golf Course, all to go help Backyard Dreams. All right, that's the main thing too. So you got two big motivations for this thing: to help out some kiddos with Backyard Dreams, but also to win these brand new, bigger and better, sweet looking title belts. I mean, seriously, they're flipping sweet right now. They're actually better than I thought they were going to be. They're bigger than I thought they were going to be too, which is all right. We're setting the stage right here now. So, but a big shout out to our partners that have signed up to help us with the 5th annual Casper Classic. Got to give a shout out to Lake Hallie for being our hosts this year. Park Ridge Distributing, who we couldn't do this without them. Edward Jones, financial advisor, Kelsey Nikolai, Carpet City Flooring Center, VFW Post 305, Myron Construction, Dodge Inn, AJM Automotive Services, Hy-Vee, Economy Furniture, Muldoon's Menswear, and now Home Oasis. If you'd like to help us out and partner with us, whether it's a whole sponsorship or one thing we really want to knock it out of the park this year is some raffle prize donations and such. And if you'd like to donate that would be awesome too. Shout out to Chippewa River Industries and Dave. I know he's got something coming. Brandon's mom and Rocky going to be putting together a couple baskets again this year. So a big thanks to those fine folks and supporters as well. So big shout out to everybody out there for helping support. But these things are, I mean, I don't know if Surveyor's even awake yet this morning and listening, but if he hasn't seen, I put it up on my Facebook page too, a picture. If you're not watching the video stream, these things are sweet here. C-Bomb, you might have to sign up another team to try to win these things this year. So whoever wins them, hopefully it's me, but whoever wins them this year to get the first new version of our title belts for our 5th annual one, these are flipping sweet. I'm not joking. These are so cool. So dang cool. So, all right, let's begin here this morning. Talking a little Brewers baseball on our leadoff. Brewers falling yesterday, last night to the Pittsburgh Pirates, 5-4. 5-4. I think it's best to describe Chad Patrick's outing as a little up and down. And now you look at his last 3 outings, and they haven't been the Chad Patrick that we saw in April for sure. Haven't been the Chad Patrick that we saw in May. And you kind of look at Chad Patrick's performance in June, and just he's going through a little bit. I mean, he set the bar high we got to remember too, he is a rookie. He is a young pitcher, and he comes in and he pitches incredibly well to begin his career. And remember too, he was supposed to start off in the minors and that, but because of all the starting pitching injuries and that, it obviously had, he was like, all right, here you go, man. You're gonna have to step up and be a big time performer for us. And he started off his season, his major league career on a really good note, on a really high note. And I know, compared to rookies' numbers and such, he's still up there. But it's also fair to say that June hasn't been the greatest month for him outside of the Padres game. He did get charged with the loss in that game, but he only gave up 1 earned run. But his last 3 games, 5 earned runs, 4 earned runs, and 4 earned runs, all in 5 innings of work. And this was after, again, the longest time that Chad Patrick, he was Mr. Consistent. Didn't give up more than 3 earned runs in any of his starts. April, in 5 games, he threw in a 1.82 ERA, a 1.82 ERA. May, he was 3.32 ERA. And so far, right now in June, he's got a 6. He's got a 6 ERA in the month of June, and that includes one of those games with just 1 earned run on there. So, so you kind of have to wonder, with the return, knock on wood, with the return of Brandon Woodruff coming soon, with Nestor Cortes potentially after the All-Star break, is Chad Patrick's spot in the rotation maybe up in the air at this point? Is it pretty vulnerable at this point? I think it is. I think it is. All right, Surveyor and C-Bomb are texting. I got to put it back over the shoulder in case they want to drool all over this sweet title belt over the shoulder right now. So, so you look at last night's game with Patrick. Definitely an up and down performance. I know that's what Pat Murphy kind of described it as after the game last night too, saying, quote, "The command hasn't been as good. The cutter has been a little bit more inconsistent, and people know about him. They've seen him. He's got to, and he will, because he's that kid, develop that two-seamer better, a better changeup, a better slider to go along with the fastball." And so for our kind of, I might as well just get into it right away. Usually we do like a bench start cut on Tuesdays. I altered it to do a little start bullpen, minors, and then cut/trade. You got Woodruff, you got Nestor Cortes, you got Chad Patrick, and then you throw in Quinn Priester. Chad Patrick, Quinn Priester have minor league options, although Priester, I think, just has 1 left. To me, I think it's fairly simple if everybody's available, everybody's ready to go, and everybody's healthy. To me, you start Brandon Woodruff, you put Chad Patrick back in the minors to work on what Pat Murphy just said, to develop, that two-seamer, to have a better changeup, to have a better slider to go along with that cut fastball. And when he has that cut fastball going, I mean, it's a pretty dang good pitch. It's a pretty lethal pitch. So, but to get that work in, it's probably best to do it down at AAA and probably to do it in the minors. Take what he has learned at this major league level. I mean, I'm a big believer that experience is the best educator. Hands-on experience. He's gotten a ton of that right now at the major league level, earlier than what a lot of people thought, and probably what he thought, and definitely what the team thought at this point. But take what he has learned so far this year, the highs and the lows, and work on that in AAA. So, I think the minor league option goes to Chad Patrick. The start goes to Brandon Woodruff. I think the bullpen maybe then goes to like a Quinn Priester. And then I think you trade or cut Nestor Cortes when you get to that point. Now, the other part in this too that I'm not factoring in, because I'm trying to make it a little bit easier. The thing I think that we are going to have to pay attention to, maybe not right now, and it's not really getting talked about as much, but something that we will have to pay attention to as we get deeper into this season, is going to be the innings for Jacob Misiorowski. That is going to be a thing a little bit later on in the season. Will they stretch it and, have him pitch a bunch of innings, or are they going to be cautious with that? Is that something that they will just, I mean, I think at this point it's going to be a little bit of a play it by ear issue situation, whatever you want to call it. But that is going to be something that is going to be talked about a little bit later on into the season. When we look at 2024, okay, between Nashville and Biloxi, okay, math. But in Biloxi, he pitched 79, a little over 79 innings, okay, just under 80. And then Nashville last year, he pitched 17, a little over 17 innings. All right. And so far this year in Nashville, he's pitched 63. So in 2024, he pitched a total of 97 innings. 97 innings for Jacob Misiorowski last year. When we look at this year so far, he's already got 74. So he's not that far off from already pitching the most innings he's pitched in a season in his career. That is going to be something the Brewers are going to pay attention to. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it is something that they're going to pay attention to. Because he is young, because they have a lot of high expectations for him, but also dude throws really hard. We know that. He throws incredibly hard. So they are going to pay attention to his inning counts. And that's going to come up here pretty darn quick. So with that, that's where Quinn Priester is probably going to be. Okay, so maybe in the short term he gets moved to the bullpen, but I would not be surprised if Quinn Priester stays in that starting rotation or gets back into that starting rotation. And a lot's going to depend on the Jacob Misiorowski innings watch. Is it going to be something where if they elect to be cautious with him and just kind of build him up, eventually he will get to, maybe that benchmark is 200 innings in a season like Freddie Peralta is. They'll build him up that way. But maybe when they get to a certain point this year, does he have shorter outings? Is it a piggyback start? Something to kind of monitor as we get closer to that for sure. So, but last night, the Brewers offense, you had Christian Yelich getting the green light on a 3-0 pitch, and he absolutely took advantage of it and hit that 2-run shot for his 15th home run of the season and tied it up there. Brewers clawed back a couple times, but the Pirates able to get a run back in the top of the 6th. And that was all they needed after that. Gonzalez had himself a career night, going 5 for 5, 5 hits, a couple of RBIs. Reynolds continuing to hit well against the Brewers. He collected a couple of hits in the game. Pham picking up his first home run of the season. So it was just, I guess, one of those nights. But that's, dropping game 1 of this series. I look at tonight's game, game 2. With the Pirates, I think it's a big game. I think it's a game you have to win. You have to win this game. I'm not saying it's going to derail their season or end their season or anything like that, but you can't lose a home series against the Pirates. You can't. I know I'm probably putting a lot into a series at the end of June here, but you just can't lose a home series to the Pirates and then put yourself in a position to potentially be swept by the Pirates at home after sweeping the Twins on the road, after taking 3 out of 4 against the Cardinals. Don't put a sour note on it and drop the series against the Pirates. Just don't. You can't. You got Freddie Peralta on the mound tonight. All right. You look at, obviously, he's had a ton of experience going up against the Pirates. Some of these hitters have seen him a boatload of times. Reynolds being one of them. 33 at-bats, 364, a 1.007 OPS. You got Hayes, 14 career at-bats. He struggled, though, 143. But you look at other guys like a McCutchen, 15 career at-bats, 333. Frazier, 14 career at-bats, 286. So, there's a couple of guys on here, a couple of veterans that have had success against Freddie Peralta. On the flip side, he needed the left-handed pitcher, so it's a lefty on the mound for the Pirates tonight. and you look at it, you got about a game's worth of experience, maybe a couple of games worth for some of these guys. But Contreras, just 4 at-bats, he's 750. Yelich by far has the most career at-bats against him. He's the only one in double digits. He's got 11 career at-bats, hitting 273. Otherwise, you just got like a game's worth between everybody else on here. So you look at what Andrew's done in June, and I mean, he's coming off of let's just say it, a very bad performance, but it was against the Tigers. I mean, the Tigers are probably the best team in Major League Baseball right now. But Andrew last pitched on the 19th at Detroit, 4 innings, giving up 7 earned runs in that contest. 7 earned runs. So far this year, he is 3-6 with a 3.94 ERA in 15 games pitched. And then the ace of the staff for the Brewers, Freddie Peralta. He did pitch against Pittsburgh back in May. It was a contest where he went just 4 1/3, gave up 5 hits, but just 1 earned run, struck out 3, issued 3 walks in that contest. You look at what he's done so far, if we just break it down by June, in 4 games pitched, 2-1 with a 2.74 ERA. Freddie has been pretty dang consistent throughout this whole season. I mean, you look at the overall numbers, and again, 7-4, but a 2.76 ERA. And you break it down by the months. I mean, 2.36 ERA in April, 3.16 in May, and so far in June, a 2.74. And he's coming off of a win against the Cubs, 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Before that, Cardinals, a win, 6 innings, 1 earned run. No decision against the Padres, 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs. I mean, he's pitching really well right now. And if we get one of these starts from Freddie Peralta tonight, you're feeling pretty good about a win. It's just, can the offense now give him some run support? Can the offense continue to put up some runs like they have in these last few games, even last night's game, putting up 4 runs? But can the offense give him the proper run support, enough run support to secure that win tonight? I think it's a big game because you can't lose a series against the Pirates at home. I'm just sorry. You just can't. It's not the end of the world or anything like that. And I understand it happens even to the best teams in Major League Baseball. You're going to have one of those, but in a dogfight and for a playoff spot and such, just can't lose. And the way you're playing in this month of June, just please don't lose a series to the Pirates at home. Just don't. Okay? Tomorrow's game is going to be electric, and it's going to be awesome, but it's also going to be incredibly tough going up against Paul Skeens. So put yourself in a position to where at least you have a shot to win the series tomorrow, going up against Paul Skeens, and you're throwing your fireballer, Jacob Mizorowski, out there in his 3rd career start. I mean, all the limelight, all the attention and such. I mean, he's taking selfies yesterday with Paul Skeens. He's a kid, okay? And this is going to be another huge test for him, going kind of toe-to-toe with Paul Skeens, all right? Paul Skeens, he's been around a little bit longer. Not much, but, I mean, he's been in the limelight, the spotlight for a long time now. He ain't intimidated by this. Mizorowski, sure, there's going to be some butterflies and some excitement going over there. It's going to be a tough game for the Brewers tomorrow, so please just win today. That's why I feel like tonight's a big game. It's got to be a big game for the Brewers. And I hope that Freddie Peralta comes in and continues to be his Mr. Consistent self, mows him on down, and the offense backs him up. Let's just have one of those games tonight where it's like kind of like Saturday's game against the Twins. You get a few runs early on, and then you get that early run support. Freddie just goes out there and deals, and then you add a few more insurance runs, in the latter half of the game, the last couple innings there, and you have a nice, comfortable Brewers win. That's what I want to see tonight. Not taxing the bullpen so much. Let's have, 6, 7 innings out of Peralta, early run support, Just one of those nice, comfy Brewer style wins. That's what I want to see. All right, we got to take a quick break here. We'll be back to wrap up the first hour. Hey, I got a lot of questions for you. I want to hear from you. Start to hit me up with those texts, grind my gears, sports annoyances, all that good stuff. We'll be right back. When it comes time, excuse me, to update the floors in your home, you want to make sure you do it right. So where do you go? Simple. You want to go where you know you will be taken care of, and that is Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. From the moment you walk through the doors, you can tell that the place is just different. No pushy salespeople, just knowledgeable, friendly team ready to help you out. They really take the time to listen to what you want, help you come up with options, compare those options, and show flooring that actually fits your style and your budget. And the selection is huge, whether it's carpet, luxury vinyl planks, tile, you name it. And whether you're remodeling one room or your whole home, they have got you covered. And it's not just about choosing the product, it's about getting it installed the right way. Their installers are just as fantastic. They're awesome over there too. So if you're thinking about getting some new floors, don't overthink it. Trust the place that I trust. All right, and we trust. From our homes to our new studios, it's Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Local service, expert advice, and floors you will love for years to come. Also, put this on the calendar. All right, get this on the calendar this Sunday. What are you doing this Sunday? I'll tell you what you're doing this Sunday. You're heading on over to the VFW Post 305 for a little, and bring the pups. All right, bring the pup, because it's Yappy Hour Sunday, June 29th from 3 to 5 on that patio at VFW Post 305. The gorgeous view overlooking the river and Dell's Pond. Just $20 per person for the humans. All right, the dogs are free. Includes a couple drinks, an appetizer platter, and a free homemade dog drink. If you can, just please bring an unused donation for the Eau Claire County Humane Association, such as blankets, dog or cat food, toys, just no rawhides. So that's this Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m., the 29th. And then shortly after that, because it's already 4th of July, if you can believe it, if you don't have any plans, well, now you do. You can join the VFW Post 305 and Hannah Storm as they rock the pavilion this 4th of July. The party starts at 4 p.m. Hannah Storm taking the stage at 5 p.m. And the VFW Post 305 will be featuring some drink specials as well as flip-flop chicken. Come on, flip-flop chicken in summer. Can't ask for a better thing than that. So a lot of stuff, always some cool stuff going on at the VFW Post 305. And if you haven't followed their Facebook page, you should, because they've been posting some of their daily specials in that. I mean, I'm looking at their hand-breaded honey sriracha chicken sandwich. It's practically my lunchtime right now. I don't know if anybody can deliver from VFW Post 305, but that thing looks amazing. That looks absolutely amazing. So, all right, just a few minutes to the top here. So, a few things. We'll get back some more Brewers talk and baseball talk and that, but I got a bunch of questions I've thrown out to you this morning. Your biggest sports annoyances. All right. What are some things that annoy you in the sports world? What's grinding your gears? All right. Your Toyson Ford grind my gears at Tuesday. What's grinding your gears? Send those on over. Surveyor has a fantastic one right now. I mean, it's you set the bar high on this one, Surveyor. Where oh no, that's a sports annoyance. My apologies. Sports annoyance. So I was like, there's nowhere on the grind my gears. But the sports annoyance from Surveyor Sam, a sports annoyance of mine on top of the other ones is when Bears fans that say, bear down. What the heck even is that? It sounds like you're in the bathroom after that coffee hit way too fast, sweating and crying because you know that 3 days of deep dish pizza, government block cheese, and Bud Light are coming a knocking. So awesome. He also says, I don't see the name engraved on the belt over the shoulder. For shame, sir. Well, hey, if you become the first back-to-back champion, you can do whatever you want with that thing. But you're going to have some competition, including from Bloomer Tony, saying, Morning DK, that belt is going to look sweet in Bloomer after Plain T and I win them. So I'm telling you, if you haven't signed your team up now, take a look at how sweet these things look. You want to try to win that? Sign up now. Sportstalk1051.com. Get your team in. All right. Even if you've got a morning team and you want to increase your chances, you're like, all right, I need another partner. You can sign up for the 1 p.m. slot. Few people have done that before too. They'll play 18. play 9 at 10, and then play another 9 in the afternoon session. Here are some of the sports annoyances that were commented on my Facebook page that we posted up last night. And again, try to make it appropriate so at least I can mention them on the air and that. But a few of them, so you have some time to think about it and send them on over. Travis says basketball games that become free throw contests because the refs are whistle happy. Surveyor says when people call a pile a scrum, if it's not a scrum, if anything, it's a maul. The Jagelhorn and timeouts at the end of basketball games. All right, so we got a couple basketball games there. We've got Andy. This is a good one. I think this is a good one too. Kind of an it didn't pop up in my head right away, but it's a good one. Andy says when baseball fans boo at a pitcher throwing over to first base. We've got let me go because there's a couple of different ones. Tim says people standing the whole game. That one I'm like, I've done it because we had to, because there was literally no way of sitting down on the bleachers in January in Lambeau Field because everybody's so decked out in layers and layers and layers. It was literally impossible for anybody to sit. So yeah, I've had to stand the whole time because that's just by what was available space-wise. So John says when someone constantly calls travel at a basketball game when they have no idea. So we'll get to some more. You can hit me up with some text for some other ones over there too. Good morning, Morgs.
Does the heat grind your gears?
No.
Were you cranky this past weekend? No? It wasn't too hot for you?
We were at a baseball game all day Saturday.
Yeah?
So at Target Field, absolutely not.
It wasn't too shabby.
No.
Who do you know that's the biggest heat hater in your life that will finally stop complaining today? Do you have one?
No.
No?
Nope.
Nope. What about Hudson? Is he
he's good with it.
Is he a pool kid though?
Oh yeah.
You got the sprinkler set up?
Not sprinkler, we got a pool.
Do you remember?
We're too old for sprinklers.
You have a pool. Listen to you. You know what we had? Do you remember slip and slides?
Oh, we got one of those too.
Okay. My parents would set up the slip and slide, only it was on the rockiest hill. But as a kid, you don't care.
Yeah.
You'll just nosedive down those things and slide. It is so uncomfortable to ride down those slip and slide things. Did you have a favorite summer activity when you were young?
Baseball.
But not like pool time?
I wasn't a big swimmer.
Me either.
Nope.
I wasn't.
I wasn't a big swimmer.
We got my parents would set the hose out. That was the extent of our luxury when we were little.
Yeah, I mean, I did swimming lessons. We had the city pool and that, but that's even like to this day, I'm not a big swimmer.
I don't take baths. Like I don't enjoy baths. They make your skin all pruny and gross. Like I don't have the patience for baths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
not
I mean,
so much
lake
water.
swimming was kind of a thing too, but yeah.
If I'm at the lake though, I fish.
Yeah.
I've always preferred fishing to swimming. And
yeah, baseball, fishing are my summer go-tos.
What about golf? Have you been out yet? You got to warm up for the Kasper Classic, buddy.
Yeah, you see the new title belts?
Tell me. Hold it up high like you're walking the ring.
Oh, look at that thing, huh?
That's pretty. That's a belt.
That's a belt.
That's a belt.
We went bigger and bolder and better.
You definitely went bigger and bolder.
Cue the HBK theme music right now.
Buckle is the size of a dinner plate, my friends.
Heartbreak Kid.
Now, who do you suspect's going to take that home?
Oh, me.
Okay, I knew you were going to say that, but now for real.
I don't know.
Take a guess. If you had to place early bets, like if we were going to make this into a Vegas style.
Well, I don't know all the people who signed up yet. The people that I know.
Yeah, the people that you know that are going that have been there before.
I think Bloomer, Tony, and Plain T are sneaky candidates right now.
Well, they're repeat offenders. We've seen them there before because last year
it's been a little bit
registering people. Yeah.
Surveyor will not win back to back. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen.
Does he think he's going to win?
Yeah.
Survey, you're going to have to make room on your abdomen for this thing if you win because the title belt's huge.
It is huge.
Why don't you give out a green coat?
We do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
This is the second year we do.
Okay, second. It is new.
Yep, second year
Gotcha.
we will be. So.
And you're not making the coat any bigger?
No. The green jacket. The green jacket goes to those who have supported the tournament or Backyard Dreams the most.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we got 2 of them we're giving away this year.
Countdown is on. But if you haven't been out to the courses yet, buddy.
I have, just not enough.
Okay. That's your way of saying you
baseball
need to golf.
tournaments.
Oh,
I got one coming up this weekend.
the
So.
same here. We're going to be in Elma all day
Yep.
Sunday for softball.
So.
The struggle is real.
All right. Thanks, Morgs.
Hey, anytime.
1 hour, 2 more to go. Second hour already on this Tuesday morning. It's a Toyson Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. What the heck is grinding your gears? Let us know. Get it off your chest. Text us on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line at 715-830-1912. Comment on the video streams. Hit me up on the socials. Facebook.com/Kasper Sports. On the X at DANKS, Instagram, Dan Kasper Sports too. So I want to hear from you. All right. What's grinding your gears on this Tuesday morning? All right. We're going to talk some Badgers coming up in a little over an hour, about 8:25. RJ Cardinal will be joining us because we got a deep dive into this this news story that popped on Friday, a typical Friday news dump. But University of Wisconsin, filing a lawsuit against the University of Miami with the whole Xavier Lucas situation. So we'll talk to RJ about that and get the latest on that. Right before that, we'll do our Eau Claire Express chat that we usually do every Tuesdays during the summer. The Express returning back to Carson Park last night after spending the week prior all on the road. They did fall to the La Crosse Loggers last night. They hit the road for a couple more games against La Crosse before coming back to Carson Park for Thursday. So we'll catch up with our friends from the Express coming up about an hour from now. We'll get back to some more Brewers talk, some more baseball talk. We are taking your sports annoyances. What the heck annoys you as a sports fan? Again, not really looking at, ticket prices or whether your owner spends enough money or anything like that. We're looking for more of like, does it bug you when somebody uses the wrong terminology? Does it bug you when people do the wave? That sort of stuff. Those type of sports annoyances. All right. So let me know either on the post on Facebook or again, you can hit me up with a text. Like C-Bomb says, drunk fans that stand the entire game at Lambeau with kids behind them. There are appropriate times to stand and cheer. Close game, third down and short on defense, but second and 20 in the second quarter, sit down and let the kids see. And then calling baseball runs points. Can't do it. I agree with that one too. So. Speaking of a little football, just kind of a little bit of a nugget in sports history today, and I want to play a little what if with this, but I think it's it's probably a date that Packers fans aren't going to know about too much, and it's not highly publicized or anything like that, but when I was doing the Wisconsin Sports History Moment, brought to you by Muldoon's Menswear, that you'll hear throughout the day here, and this one popped up, and I think it's an important one, and it didn't pop up right away. I had to do some deep diving to try to find something for this one. So found it, and I'm like, this is kind of an important day in Packers history because, well, for one, it relates to the NFL overall because it was this day in 1922. We're talking over 100 years ago that the American Professional Football Association changed its name to the NFL. That's not what I'm going with here. But at that same meeting, the Packers, all right, the Packers were actually reinstated into what now we call the NFL. So it was on June 24th, 1922, that the Packers were reinstated because the Packers had initially been ousted from the league earlier in the year, January of 1922, due to using college players under assumed names in a non-league game at the end of the 1921 season. Curly Lambeau paid the $250 franchise fee, and the team was readmitted. But it kind of gives you a little bit of a what if sort of thing, right? And that game, by the way, at the end of 1921 was a game against Racine. But this was about 100 years ago. Think about it. Now it's probably hard to even think about, like, man, getting away with using players and changing their names. I mean, Johnny Blood McNally, if you know that story, how he got the last name Blood. All right. He's got such an awesome story too. But it's kind of hard to think about now in 2025 with social media and everything in that, to just imagine a day when you could bring on a player and change their name and nobody really kind of at that point knew who they were. You know what I mean? That was 100 years ago, but think about maybe not that long ago either. So it's hard to kind of comprehend that now in today's sporting world where everything is just, everybody knows everybody. It feels like cameras, social media, internet, TV, whatever. But what if Green Bay wasn't readmitted? What if they weren't readmitted? What would Wisconsin still have a pro football team? Would it be in Green Bay? Would it be in Milwaukee? Would it be in Madison? What if? Just we don't know. We don't know the answer. But I believe that yes, Wisconsin would have and still would have to this day a pro football team. I just feel like it probably would not have been in Green Bay. The likely candidates probably would have been Milwaukee. And in fact, in 1922, there were 18 teams in the NFL at that time, and one of them was in Milwaukee. It was the Milwaukee Badgers. Again, if you know a little bit of your history, I think that's going to be another fantastic topic. Maybe I should do sometime. The Milwaukee Badgers weren't around for too long, just a couple of years, 1922 to 1926. But you had some notable players. I mean, Fritz Pollard. Fritz Pollard, probably heard that name quite a bit. Fritz Pollard was on there. Johnny Blood played on there for a minute. Duke Slater. So they weren't the greatest team in their few years of existence, but they were part of the 18 teams on that 1922 NFL league. You had the Akron Pros, the Buffalo All-Americans, the Canton Bulldogs, the Chicago Bears, Chicago Cardinals, obviously the Packers, the Minneapolis Marines, Milwaukee Badgers, Louisville Brecks, the Racine Legion, Rochester Jeffersons, Rock Island Independents, Toledo Maroons. But if Green Bay had not been readmitted, if Curly Lambeau did not pay the $250 franchise fee, and they did not get reinstated, essentially, would Wisconsin still have a pro football team? I believe so. I believe they would have, and I feel like it probably would be in Milwaukee. I mean, that's probably the most likeliest location for that. Because again, the fact that Green Bay still has, or Green Bay has lasted as long as it is and will continue to last in such a small market out of, blue kind of town over there. It's one of the best. And I'll kind of quote Cliff Crystal, this Packers team historian. And he's told this to me before, the best story in sports history. The fact that this team is around, is still around, has had the success that they've had, and all the ups and downs. If you don't know the Packers history, from all the different financial issues that they had in their early goings, I mean, the five oh gosh, I just blanked on their name, but the five people that kind of helped save the franchise in the early days and such. I mean, it's a fantastic story. It sounds like a Hollywood movie, but it actually happened in real life. So, but it's a day that, again, probably won't be remembered in Packers history. Probably won't be remembered in Packers history, but it's a very important day, in my opinion, on keeping the it's an important day in Packers history. It's not a day that's going to be thrown out there, where the Packers once in a while will throw out a day like "Happy Birthday to the Packers," or it was this day that we Lambeau Field opened, or anything like that. But it's definitely a day that we, as a Packers fan, kind of put in the back of your head, like that was an important milestone in the timeline of Packers history and such. So. All right, let's take a quick break. What's grinding your gears? Send those on over. All right, your biggest sports annoyances. I've got a few, so I'm going to go through my list coming up here. I'm open to some other ones there because I feel like I'm missing a bunch. I really feel like I've been missing a bunch here. So, but send those on over. All right, text me 715-830-1912. We'll take a quick break. And we'll be back after these quick words. If you're looking for great deals and friendly service in Eau Claire, you have got to check out Mike's Star Market. Since summer now is in full swing, you need to fire up those grills and put on a few different flavors of brats from Mike's Star Market. We've been going there for years now. We always know that they've got fresh, quality meats. And when it comes to hunting season 2, I know maybe a couple months away, but if you're a true hunter, outdoorsman, you never stop thinking about hunting season. But when it is hunting season, if you do get that deer, you want to make sure that you take it on into Mike Star Market for venison processing and such. So, but with this summer, maybe you got some tailgating, backyard barbecues and such, and not sure where to go for brats and that. Easy, Mike's Star Market. Or for those road trips, one of our traditions when we go on road trips or just to getting in the car for a little bit of a long drive, like this last week when we went to Target Field for Brewers and Twins, we always grab a couple bags of beef jerky to snack on. So beef strips, the Bloody Mary beef strips are probably my favorites. One of my favorite items. If I had to power rank them from Mike's, maybe number one from Mike's Star Market over there too. So snack sticks, beef strips, whatever the case may be, they've got a ton of different flavors over at Mike's too. So check them out, Mike's Star Market, west side of Eau Claire. Speaking of hunting season 2, don't forget I know it is June and we're getting into July and such, but this is the off season. Get ready for hunting season. This is the time. This is the time of year to get ready, whether it's, maybe working on some food plots, maybe some stand locations, but also the equipment. And that includes maybe your firearm. I've been going to Tilden Gun for years, and there's a reason I keep going back, whether it's because I need new ammo, new firearm, or just want to check out what's new. I know I'm in good hands because it's more than a gun shop. It's a place where you're treated like family. The guys, Sean, Hunter at Tilden Gun, they know their stuff. They've helped me find the right gear time and time again, whether it's for deer season or maybe just adding something new to the collection. They don't give you the runaround. They listen, they answer your questions, and they genuinely care about getting you what you need. And if they don't have it, they'll work with you to find it. I've over the years sent plenty of friends their way, and every single one of them has come back saying the same thing. That's a place that I'm going to go back to, man. If you haven't been to Tilden Gun, you're missing out. Great service, fair prices, and people you can trust. You can also check them out online at tildengun.com. So what are some of your sports annoyances? What are some of your sports annoyances? Again, I don't want to get into the whole, my owner, my favorite team doesn't spend enough. I'm not looking at it. Ticket prices, too. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking more at okay, when you're at a game, what do fans do that annoys you? Or is there certain terminology that people use that you're like, that's not the right terminology? That annoys the heck out of me every time somebody says that or does that. All right. What are some of the biggest sports annoyances that you have? Donnie says on our Shoe Doctor's texting line, biggest sports annoyance is the guy sitting by an own plate, talking on a cell phone and waving obnoxiously. Get a life. Probably talking about, or probably, I'm assuming, talking to somebody saying, hey, you see me on TV waving over there? So that actually is kind of related to one of my sports annoyances. Now, I will say, it's been a hot minute since I've seen this, but I have seen it multiple times. And I've talked about it before. But one of my sports annoyances is and this was a few years ago, but I saw it multiple times, people reading the newspaper at Lambeau Field. People reading the paper at a game or reading a book at a game. I'm not opposed to reading. I love reading. I wish I could read more. I wish I had time to read more. I wish I made maybe I should rephrase. I wish I made more time to read more. I've got no problem with that, but I'm not going to go to a Packer game and bring a book and a newspaper with me to read it while, Jordan Love is leading the offense down the field or the Packers defense is out there trying to stop a 3rd and 1. Oh, I'm going to look at the business section while that's going on right now. That is just now I haven't seen it, but I did see it multiple times. And I'm like, why? What are we doing? Not at Lambeau. Not at Lambeau Field. I just, no, thank you. No, thank you. Speaking of which, too, I mean, that goes hand in hand. The wave. Seriously, why are we still talking about the wave on offense in 2025? It's ridiculous, especially when your team's on offense. Know the rules. I'm calling them rules. The unwritten rules. You don't do the wave. This is probably my number one annoyance. You don't do the wave when your team is on offense. I don't partake in the wave at any point, but if you want to do it when your team's on defense, knock yourself out. Okay? Go ahead and do it. And it's kind of related. Being loud when your team's on offense. I'm gonna combine the two. This is mostly for this is for football. And really it's to me, when they go for it on 4th and 1, anybody who's gone to a game, T-Bomb, I don't know if you're still listening and such, but when you go to a game and the Packers decide to go for it like on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, what's the immediate reaction? And I get it, you're pumped up, but the stadium starts to get loud and they start cheering really loud. And it's like, shush it. I know you're pumped that they're going for it on 4th and 1, that they're going for it on 4th down. Okay, I get it. I understand. You're pumped. But all right, you don't want them to screw up to where they gotta somebody can't hear the call in the huddle because it's so loud in it. All right, sit your butts down. Be quiet on offense. If they make a big play, stand up and cheer. If they score a touchdown, stand up and cheer. But then if they gotta get another play going, let the offense, like on the big board it says, quiet, offense is at work. All right. That's probably my biggest bugaboo. Sports annoyances is doing the wave and being loud when your team's on offense in football. That I just no. And with that too, I'll say this. A lot of my annoyances are related to football because I feel like baseball games are a little bit more of a relaxed atmosphere. I mean, we talked about that the other day. I mean, that to me is a little bit more of a relaxed, enjoyable experience. Where football, like I feel like going to Lambeau Field and to a game, you're intense right away from before kickoff to the end of kickoff, or to the end of kickoff to the end of the game. Like you're full on. It's just like you flip a switch almost a little bit, and you're so intense. So a lot of my annoyances actually relate to football because, again, I feel like for me at least, baseball, I'm a little bit more relaxed and calm, and maybe even enjoy it a little bit more. But let's all get on the same page too if we're standing or sitting. So a lot of you talked about standing, and knowing when you're supposed to sit, standing in that. I understand that certain circumstances call for it because, again, I remember one time I was at Lambeau just a couple of years ago. It was January. It was cold. It was a night game. Everybody was layered up. We literally could not sit down in the bleachers. All right. When you layer up, there's not a whole lot of room in those bleachers at Lambeau Field for everybody to sit in their assigned seats. It gets tough to begin with, even when it's warmer weather. But when you layer up and you have your hunting clothes on or your snowmobile suits or your parkas, it gets tough. And we had to stand the whole time because it was just, and I remember I had to stand like sideways just to get everybody in their row. Okay. So I understand those type of circumstances, but let's all get on the same page of when we're standing or sitting. It's that awkward, right? I mean, everybody's kind of been there when you're standing up, and whether it's like kickoff or something, everybody's standing, and then maybe you got a couple rows that are still standing. And then it has like the domino effect. Well, if these guys in front of me are standing, that means I got to stand. And then that means the row behind them's got to stand so they could see. And then they got to stand, but these ones aren't standing. And then, it's just a mess. Let's all get on the same page, whether we're going to stand or not. Okay. I'm going to leave it like, I don't like getting in that awkward phase of like, do I sit down? Like, I feel bad that I'm standing in front of these people, but you know what? I can't see because these guys decide to stand on 2nd and 8. It's like the stand up, sit down, rah, rah, rah sort of thing. I don't know what to do. But I want to see too. I paid good money to be there. So if I got to stand to see this play, I'm sorry, I'm going to do it, even if it's going to upset the person behind me. Okay. Another annoyance of me, and this is not an ego thing. This is not an ego thing. But there are times at games, and I can't be the only one that has experienced this or that has heard this, but there's those fans, and I love all fans, but there are those fans, and I don't know if it's because they're trying to impress the person they're with or what, but you can kind of overhear a conversation going on, and it's those fans that pretty much are the coach. They should be the coach of the team. That they should be the coach of the team. Or there were times too when you're like, oh, that's so and so out there, and they used to play here, there, and they're completely wrong. Like their facts are even wrong, but they're adamant. Like, so yeah, so and so played at UCLA where he, started at wide receiver. And it's like, dude, he played at Buffalo and he was a corner. It's like, stop. Okay. No, that kind of gets a little bit like and it's usually the guy that's trying to impress his wife or his girlfriend or something like that. That's when I find is like, you're over here and it's like, that's the dude, it's like, okay, dude. No, just chill, right? Just chill. Another annoyance for me is this only just kind of happened last year when I took Hudson to his first regular season Packers game. And the guy I was standing to was a Texans fan, probably in his 20s. He looked like a college kid. But between plays, whenever they would play like a certain song, he just started doing like a club dance. Like, I don't even know. Like, it's one of those like weird things where he was just like moving the top half of his body and not even his arms. But I'm like, dude, you're not at the club. It's not a Saturday night. It's not a Friday night. It's not even a Thursday. It's a noon kickoff game at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Okay? You want to go clubbing? Go to the bar down the street. Go clubbing. All right? This isn't a dance club. All right? And you look awkward and you look dumb doing it. Okay? Let alone the fact that you ate a brat from the top down. Not from like the side, like, where you like normal people would, how they eat a. The guy literally ate it like he was eating a burger, for crying out loud. He went from the top. I'm just like, is this something that they do in Texas? I don't know if he was from Texas or anything like that, but I'm like, is this like the first time you've ever? That guy was just annoying as all get out. All right, just annoying. And speaking of that, fans who just are annoying to be annoying or dumb to be dumb. I went to a Packer game. It was Packers Vikings playoff game in 2012. Whatever the year it was that they lost the Vikings in the final week where Peterson almost broke the rushing record and then ended up being Packers Vikings in the playoffs the next week. Joe Webb ended up starting the game. And I'm going to call out these Packers fans for doing this, but there was a couple of Packers fans that were just ripping Adrian Peterson and calling him overrated and saying how bad he was. And I'm like, okay, I understand trash talking your main rival, trash talking, you're in a playoff game and that sort of stuff. But let's be a little realistic here. Adrian Peterson was not overrated, especially that year when he won MVP, coming back from a torn ACL and almost breaking the rushing record. Okay, I understand you want to go after and talk a little smack. It was towards the end; the Packers had won. You want to talk a little smack to the opponent team. Be smart about it. Okay? Don't be an idiot. Don't be dumb about it. Don't say stupid stuff like, yeah, Adrian Peterson's so overrated. He's just awful. He sucks. He stinks and all. I'm like, you mean the guy that literally almost broke the rushing record and, he's not even a year removed from ACL surgery recovery? Just come on. Just stop. Just stop. But I will say, speaking of the Vikings, one of my more annoying things is the horn. And this is just a personal one. The horn and the skull thing. I just no. And that's more of a rivalry thing, okay? More power to them. That's the thing. It crawls under my skin, which is exactly the whole purpose of it. Go Pack Go probably crawls under the skin of Vikings and Bears fans too. That's probably where it's at. And yes, one of my more, I'm going to kind of relate this the terminology sort of thing, and I get it. Not everybody knows the proper terminology of sports stuff. Okay, but baseball runs are not points. Okay, baseball runs are not points. They're runs, not points. Runs. Okay, points are in basketball. Points are in football. It's like hockey. Goals. I know there's points in hockey, but goals. Okay. The terminology aspect of it. He didn't get a first base hit. No, he got a single. No, he didn't get a second base hit. He got a double. All right. He got a triple. Okay. That stuff. Again, I understand the level is probably different for every sports fans and that, and I understand it and I appreciate it and I respect that. But that's like, I'm like, nope. I'm just like quietly, I'm like, close my eyes. I'm like, nope, that's not a 4-base hit. That's that's a home run because the ball went over the fence. That's not a home plate hit. That's a home run. That's what we call it. It's a home run. So just I know I'm missing a bunch too. I know I'm missing quite a few out there. But what are some other sports annoyances that maybe you have? All right, let me know because I know I'm missing quite a bit on my list. I know I have a few more, and they usually pop up when I go to a game. It's kind of hard to like sit back and reflect on it a little bit, but that would probably be one of them. I know a couple people said, yelling "it's in the hole" for golf, which yeah, that one gets a little old. I will say this though, I do appreciate the ones that yell just stupid random stuff. Like there's like some videos, there's whether it's on social media now, but they compile a bunch of them. And I've seen ones like they don't make any sense. Like there's one that's my favorite. I think it was Tiger that just crushed one and somebody just yells, "Light the candle." I don't know why, but I think that's hilarious. I like the funny ones that just make no sense whatsoever. Somebody crushes a drive and you hear this fan yell, "What's for dinner?" or some stupid stuff like that. I think those are funny. But yeah, get in a hole, that might be a little overplayed. I understand that. I still kind of yell it just for fun on the course, but that's just me. I usually say, "Be it." Be it. Sit. That sort of stuff. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll wrap up the second hour. We got a little grind my gears action coming at you. What's grinding your gears? All right, let me know. We'll be back to finish up the second hour after these quick words. you're dealing with a sports injury or joint pain, Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is the place to go. Their expert team specializes in getting you back to your active lifestyle, whether it's physical therapy, surgery, or pain management. With advanced care and personalized treatment plans, they're committed to helping you heal right and fast. For expert orthopedic care that you can trust, visit Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. It was last night, part of our post-glass and mirror 715 Speaks poll question. But if you didn't get a chance to vote and you want to chime in now, you can do so by hitting us up with a text or hit me up on social media or on the video streams. But you've got the question, that I threw out there was, because it is a debate, apparently. It is. Is it okay for an adult to wear a jersey of another player? Is it okay? Apparently, it is a debate. I didn't think it was, but apparently it is. So, what are your thoughts? At least 88% of you said yes, it's okay. But if you think otherwise, or if you agree with the majority, hit me up with a text. Speaking of Post Glass and Mirror, when you need glass or mirror work done right, head on over to Post Glass and Mirror in Chippewa Falls. They handle everything from auto glass repairs to custom mirrors for your home or business. Their team is professional, reliable, and gets the job done quickly without cutting corners. Plus, they stand behind their work. If you want quality glass and mirror service that you can count on, check out Post Glass and Mirror in Chippewa Falls. Patty says, I hate when I'm cheering for a good play and someone yells for me to quiet down because now I have to cheer even harder. When someone yells at the ump for every call, maybe they should put the shirt on an ump. And I hate bleacher coaches. Patty on the video stream over there. Thanks for sending those on over, Patty. Ken says, I might be a whiner, but the one thing that drives me crazy is in a football game, the refs say the call is unreviewable. Drives me nuts. I can't think of any specific play from the past, but these drive me nuts. Kenny up north. Living a Dream Jeff says, more than Dan, the only thing annoying is that stupid horn in Minnesota. Be different if they only used it for touchdowns, but every little play it goes off. Evan says, did I just tune in to get off my lawn radio? Absolutely. Yeah, you did, Evan. So it's Sports Annoyances and a Grind My Gears Tuesday. You get a 2-for-1 here this morning. So what is grinding your... I will say this. I should add, there is one more, and it's not... It's more from a sports media standpoint. It annoys me when people use the term insiders for people who are not insiders. That annoys me. So this is more of a sports media thing. But when people use the term insiders, give the title insiders to someone when they're not an insider. I'm not an insider. Okay? Like, for example, I'm not an insider. I'm not. I consider insiders, one, people who maybe probably are in the building, but two, that cover the team for a living, that actually, are with the team, have back access to that. That those are like our buddy Rob Demovsky is an insider. Okay. Our buddy Peter King is an insider when he was not retired. Those are insiders. So I feel like that term gets so loosey-goosey for people. I don't know if it's, again, an ego thing or trying to pump up something that isn't really the whole insider term. No. Okay. That's more of a sports media one, but that's the thing that annoys me. Okay. Don't play loosey-goosey with the term insider for the sports world. All right. Forgot about that one, but that's one always, maybe that's a grind my gears too. So a lot of these could easily be your grind my gears, if you will. But a last call for grind my gears, Toys and Ford's grind my gears. If you have anything, send them on over. All right. Text them, tweet them, Facebook them, video stream them. What's grinding your gears this morning? I'll get to mine probably a little bit later on. I'm going to save mine until the 8 o'clock hour. So we'll get to some of yours a little bit later on here too. So let's get back as we finish up. Because we got a busy 8 o'clock hour here. But 8 o'clock, we'll catch up with our friends from the Express for our Express Tuesday chat. The Express returned back to Carson Park last night. They did fall to La Crosse. They're going to be on the road for a couple nights now against La Crosse, but they'll be back at Carson Park Thursday night. So we'll catch up with them. And then we got RJ Cardinal coming up at about 8:25 this morning. We're going to talk about the lawsuit that Wisconsin is filing against the University of Miami, with the whole Xavier Lucas issue. So we'll talk to RJ about that and get his thoughts and reaction and what's the latest chit chat going on about that down in Madison. So, but Brewers back at it tonight, looking to rebound after a loss last night against the Pirates. Freddie Peralta is on the mound for the Crew. I feel like this is a big game, and I can tell you if the Brewers lose tonight, that would grind my gears tomorrow. If the Brewers drop this game too, it would grind my gears. You have no business losing this series to the Pirates after doing what they've been doing lately. You don't have any business losing this series to the Pirates. I understand it's baseball and it happens, and that's what I love about baseball. You hear the term any given Sunday for football, but it's literally almost any given day for baseball with these 162 games, and really in sports in general too. Anybody can win at any moment, and I understand that. But it would grind my gears if the Brewers dropped this series against the Pirates after sweeping the Twins, after taking 3 out of 4 against the Cardinals. If they drop this series, it would grind my gears. But hopefully we don't have that tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow we're talking about a chance for the Brewers to win a series going up against Paul Skeens and Jacob Mizorowski getting the call for the Brewers too. But Freddie Peralta, when we look at him, and I know his name is now starting to get out there even more about some potential trade rumors. Okay, we talked about it yesterday. He was like number 2 on the big board from The Athletic. His name's going to get louder and louder and louder. And I get that, and I understand that because it fits a certain pedigree, a way of things that the Brewers have done the last few years. Trading a guy with a year left on his deal, pitchers specifically. They did it with Hader at a really weird time. So I guess we can't completely count it out for this year because they traded Hader when they were in first place in that. Although that was David Stearns, and maybe the Brewers learned their lesson after that, just the effect it had on that ball club. So I don't think it would happen. I don't want to say never, but I don't think that would happen. After this year, this upcoming offseason, I can absolutely see that happening. But you're going to start to hear that more. And if you want that to quiet down, if the Brewers want that to quiet down, you got to continue to win games. And you got to win games like these against inferior opponents. Okay? That's why I look, it's not a must-win tonight, but I consider it a game because, one, you dropped yesterday's game. So you don't want to lose this series. You have your best starting pitcher on the mound right now, your most consistent starting pitcher on the mound tonight with Peralta. Let's get this W and put yourself in a position to win the series. Otherwise, it does, you're going into tomorrow potentially maybe getting swept by the Pirates. Yuck. You don't want that god-awful taste in your mouth with that. You don't want that. So I want to see Peralta kind of doing what he's been doing. Hopefully once in a while he does get into that situation where he gives up the one big hit or a couple big hits. Or he gets his pitch count up there a little bit. Those have kind of been the bugaboos for Freddie Peralta throughout his whole career. Hopefully he doesn't get in a situation like that. But if he does, hopefully the offense has been able to give him enough run support. I want to see a game kind of like what we saw on Saturday. Early run support. 4 runs in the first 2 innings for Quintana. That's what I want to see. And then you add a few more later on in the game. A nice, comfortable win for the Crew tonight. A nice outing from Freddie Peralta. I'll take 6, 7 innings. Love 7 innings considering, bullpen usage and that. Luckily, they only used a couple guys last night. Ashby pitched 3 innings and such. Nick Mears had the 1. But I want to see 6, 7 out of Peralta. I want to see him leave the game with a lead. Few runs. And then you lock it down and get the W. That's what I want to see tonight. Just a nice, calm, collected, comfortable game for the Brewers. And then tomorrow we can start to preview this Mizorowski and Skeens matchup. And I'll admit it, I'm pumped. I'm excited when that got announced. Was it on Saturday, I think? It's like, oh, yeah, here we go. I mean, everybody's going to be talking about it. Everybody's going to be goo-goo gagaing about it. And I get you got two flamethrowers out there. Two hard-throwing dudes. Two young starting pitchers. Skeens, a little bit more established. A little bit more, you kind of know what to expect from him. I mean, we've only gotten a little over a year from him. But he's a little bit more established than Mizorowski, who's just making his third career start. But there's no question there's going to be a ton of excitement, and that's going to be after, it's already been a huge topic. You go to MLB.com, it's one of the top headlines for crying out loud. It's up there. Fireballers, Mizorowski, and Skeens to clash in epic finale. Let's make it more epic by making sure we get the W tonight then, Brewers, okay? That's what I want to see. Something that's going to probably be talked about when we get closer. Maybe it starts after this game on Wednesday and such. But we're going to have to start talking about the innings for Mizorowski coming up here. He has not. You look at his minor league records in that. He has not pitched over 100 innings in a season. And that's something that you know darn well that the Brewers are going to be paying attention to. And they are right now. And I'm just kind of curious, where's that innings count at? Like, would they actually shut him down at a certain point? Or would they cut it to where maybe he's like, all right, a piggyback sort of start? I don't know the answer to that right now. I don't. But you can look at last year, okay? Between Nashville and Biloxi, he pitched 97 innings. A little over 97 innings. 2023, between three teams, 71. So from 2023, 71 innings. 2024, 97 innings. And so far this year, in 2025, when you add in what he did in the minor leagues and so far in the major leagues, he's at 74. I mean, if we did basic math, he jumped up 26 innings from 03 or from 23 to 24. I don't know if that would be a similar path, but for argument's sake, let's say he did 26 more innings on top of his 97. That put him at 123. All right. So he's at, what did we say? 74 right now. 49 more innings. I honestly don't know what that number is, but I guarantee you that the Brewers are talking about it or they're aware of it. They're not going to really fully stretch him out. Don't expect Mizorowski to, combine 200. I would be shocked between his minor league and his major league if he hits 200 or 200 innings pitched. I don't think it'll be that way. Eventually, I think they would like that. That's the number. I mean, Freddie's been doing that for the last couple of years, but they may be a little bit more cautious with him at this point. Who knows? But something to kind of pay attention to. After every start, when it comes to Mizorowski, are we going to start to hear a little bit more and more about innings counts, innings watch, that sort of stuff? All right, shot clock's going to cut me off. We got a busy 8 o'clock hour, but that doesn't mean you don't have to participate or hit me up with a message. I'll try to get to it, all right? So shoot them on over. Again, you can hit me up on a text or comment on the video stream or hit me up on the socials, all right? Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, all right? 2 hours in, one more to go, baby. Flying on through. We got some news updates, and we'll be back to kick off the third and final hour after these quick words. Final hour kicking off right now on this Tuesday morning of June 24th. A big thanks for making us a part of your start here. If you're already up and at it, you should be. It's 8 o'clock already. Get up out of bed and get going here. So coming up in about 20, 25 minutes or so, we'll talk with RJ Cardinal. We'll get the latest on Wisconsin's lawsuit to the University of Miami with the whole Xavier Lucas situation. So we'll get RJ's expert analysis and thoughts on that. But it is Tuesday, and we begin catching up with our good friends, the Eau Claire Express. Sammy is back in the studio with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
What kind of coffee you got? I got to know what kind of.
I got a brown sugar oat milk
Nice.
shaken espresso, but I like to add the chocolate cream cold foam on top.
Good call. That's the one crappy thing because I'm a big coffee person.
Yeah.
Nothing's open at 3:30 unless I want to go to the gas station. So
yeah,
I gotta.
Have you tried Scooter's coffee yet?
Not yet. I just saw
Went
that they
there
were
yesterday.
open. Not bad.
Yeah, I've had it before over in
Okay.
Green Bay, but figured give it a shot.
Yeah, I've never had it. I'll have to try. I saw somebody posting about
Yeah.
it, so I'll definitely have to try that one too. So, well, off the road now, the Express after a long road trip all last week. I mean, and then returning home finally to Carson Park, and then they're back on the road for a couple more days here. So, was the team ready to be or happy to be back at home after a long road trip last week? Even though it was a successful road trip.
Yeah, I think so. It was kind of weird because they were in Bismarck Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then they drove down to over to Mankato for 2, and then they came home for 1. Because Saturday was like an actual like Northwoods League off day.
Okay. Yep.
And then they went up to Duluth for 1 where it was like 53.
Yeah.
And so everyone was bundled up, but I think the guys were like, it felt great with how hot it was here on Saturday.
Yeah.
So.
That would make sense. So last week too, maybe for a team with still getting some guys in, it was a good way for those to get to know each other a little bit more too.
Yeah.
So.
It was, I watched quite a few games, especially the doubleheader. I had it on in the office on
last
Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And so that was fun to watch. That was a good win.
Yep.
Quinton, he hit 2 home runs. I think he hit like 3 home runs during that series. So he's, he just got here and now he's already hitting bombs.
Making his impact right away.
Yeah, which is nice. We need some home run hitters right now.
Yeah. And as we mentioned, lacrosse coming up tonight and tomorrow, and then Carson Park again. So you're going to get a full you're full of loggers from lacrosse, and then kind of looking at it, you won't play them again until the end of July at least, so a little bit of a break.
Yeah, it'll be nice. They're kind of our kryptonite this year, and so hopefully we can snag a win or 2 today and tomorrow before we play Duluth.
Yep. So lacrosse and then Duluth for 4 straight games.
Yeah, so kind of similar to what we just did. 2 at home with lacrosse, 2 away with lacrosse, and then the Duluth series.
Which, because we're going to be off next week too, so it's kind of just a good reminder and maybe preview too, because you guys will be at home quite a bit next week for that 4th of July week. Can't believe we're already talking first week of July, but here we are.
It's crazy.
So Duluth, as we mentioned, home and away, but then next week starting on the July 1st, it's Rochester for a couple games, Mankato, including the Friday, July 4th game.
Yep.
Quick trip to Duluth, and then you're back for 5 more games, including a doubleheader in July. So
it's gonna be a long stretch.
Yeah. So probably good for the interns this last week, maybe to rest up and regroup and get ready for that.
I told them yesterday, I said, we're back and you got some days off last week. So you had some time to rest because now it's go time.
Right. Exactly.
We've got a while until we have another break right before the All-Star break. And so it's, now we got to be promoting all of these games.
Yeah. And coming up, on Thursday right away, the 26th, it's Pickleball Appreciation Night, which I know you guys the last couple of years, especially a lot with pickleball, right?
Yeah. So we'll have pickleball paddles for sale in the apparel store. And then we'll also just be promoting our pickleball tournament on July 5th. Not necessarily more so a tournament, but just kind of some fun games.
Pickleball is one of those. I have a list of sports or activities I want to try. I have not tried pickleball yet.
I've played it once and I had fun.
Yeah.
And I'd like to play again, but I can't get my husband to play with me.
Why not? Well, maybe you and I can try.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely one thing I want to try. One thing, so I have this grand idea. You can tell me how dumb this might be. But, because when we were kids or even when we were younger, we're like, I'm game for that,
Yeah.
right? I want to try some stuff. I want to try trying to get a hit off an express pitcher. Exactly. Yeah. I can't skate, but I want to try scoring a goal in hockey.
Yep.
That sort of stuff. I want to try covering
That's
a
fun.
receiver in college.
Yep.
I want to try all that and
That's
get it on
fun.
video so you can embarrass the crap out of me.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
yeah, I want to try. Maybe that's pickleball in there
We can
too.
make the express one happen this year.
I think we have to before we
The
get too
season
far.
ends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just have your slowest pitcher. Maybe have Vic do it for, do the pitch.
Oh, well,
or
we
something.
could have Kenny come out. He's like almost a submarine pitcher.
Oh, he pitched on Hudson's Day because all the kids were like, is he a sidearm pitcher? And I'm like, yeah, he gets pretty low down there.
Yeah.
So that would screw me up.
Yeah.
So you got that coming up. And then Halloween nights
Mhm.
also coming up this weekend on Saturday, which is also part of our Greatest Hits 98.1 brought to you. So what's Halloween night? Just come with the costumes or?
Yeah, and I believe that Murph and Greatest Hits are going to hand out some trick-or-treat bags, some
Okay.
candy, come dressed up in your costume. There's going to be a little costume parade in between innings,
Mhm.
some decorations up. I'm not entirely sure what else the interns have planned, but
Mhm.
I know wear your costumes. I know that's a big part.
I don't know if you I have TikTok. I just scroll through it once in
Mhm.
a while. Like, have you seen this trend like Summerween? Have you
Uh-uh.
seen it? So apparently, I don't know if it's a thing, but it's like summer Halloween where now people
Oh.
are like reading scary books or like putting on old scary movies and all that
Interesting.
sort of stuff. So I don't know if that's kind of a
Okay.
Christmas in July type of thing, but
All right.
yeah. So it fits.
Summerween.
It fits Summerween over there.
Guess
So
that's what we'll just call it.
then July 1st against Rochester, it's the Northern Wisconsin State Fair night because
Yep.
that's coming up here
That
in a
is
few
coming
weeks
up.
too. So
Yeah, right as our long stretch is ending, they are starting up.
right. So that night is again July
It's
1st.
also Trax's birthday that night.
Oh.
Yes, so the interns are throwing Trax a birthday party.
Which is actually a really good piece on Volume 1 with the history of Trax and the
Yeah.
mascot too. If you haven't checked that out, go read that.
Yes.
Too. And then Ladies' Night on July 2nd. What's
Yep.
Ladies' Night?
Oh my gosh. So it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have about 10 vendors over in the Whipley Zone. We're gonna have Hello Dorn, Riverbend Winery, Raggedy Man, Decky's gonna be down there. I'm not sure if I could say this word on the radio, but Good Ass Hair Day.
Okay, yep.
They're gonna be out there. Bubbler's gonna be there. Gosh, there are so many more that I'm not even thinking of, but they're all gonna be out there. Helldorn's gonna be doing their endless bracelets.
Oh, okay.
For all the ladies out there that like the endless bracelets. So everyone's just gonna be over in the Whipley Zone throughout the entire game. We did a bog bag ticket package. So they'll be able to pick up their rubber tote bags that have the Express logo on them. They turned out really good.
Nice.
We will have a few extras available that we're gonna have for sale in the apparel store for that day too. So
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's coming up on the 2nd. And then, of course, July 4th. I mean, July 4th, you have to go to a baseball game. I feel like
Yes.
that's a tradition
Yes.
that you have to. And guys will be at home against Mankato. It's also military appreciation and jersey auction. So another big night for July 4th game. So, and
hopefully good weather.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
knock on wood, good weather
Yeah.
for that. And then a couple days after that, July 6th, it's another kids TV takeover.
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol. That's going to be another big
Chase
one
in
too.
the Sky will be in attendance.
Oh yeah, I like that one. Is your boy in the Paw Patrol? A little too young
He's
yet?
not.
Okay.
Just the bingo and
Yeah.
Bluey.
Hudson was huge into Paw Patrol. Huge when he was younger. I mean, the toys. We had to
Yeah.
go to the movies when they came out.
They are coming out with a Bluey movie.
I might have to go to
And
that.
I think that's probably gonna be Kaysen's first movie that he goes see and sees.
I think Paw Patrol was Hudson's first one too. I'll have to ask Veronica.
She'll know.
She'll know. I
That's a
think
mom
that
thing
was-
to know.
Yeah, it was either that or the Ninja Turtles one.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
But I think
too.
it was Paw Patrol. But I would go to the Bluey one by myself if I had to. I mean, Hudson doesn't like to admit that he used to watch it, but I mean, I like Bluey.
Yeah.
I wish on Father's Day I've asked for it for the last couple of years. I want the Bluey dad.
Oh,
Shirt.
yeah.
You know, there's some adult stuff in there that, kind
Yep.
of inside jokes that only adults get. So
Yep.
I like it. I like Blue.
It's a great show.
It is. I do. I agree. So yeah, you got busy schedule coming up here too. And then the All-Star break, which happens to be in the middle of July too. So I mean, that's going to be coming up here before you know it. And that's kind of when is that when the second half of the season kind of
The
starts?
second half starts a week from today on July 1st.
Okay.
So the first half ends on Monday. Second half will start on Tuesday.
And that's where we've seen plenty of times. I mean, different teams. I mean, it literally is like a different season for a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
Maybe it's players leaving and such, temporary players, maybe some new ones coming in. But, was it last year, a couple of years ago? I think one team that I can't remember, was it lacrosse or somebody slow start in the first half, but then just like was absolutely dominant in the second half too. So that's something to kind of pay attention to when we get to that. First half.
It's anyone's game in the second half.
Right. And maybe, I don't know how coaches feel like this, but, momentum when you get to the postseason.
Yeah.
Would you rather win that second half because you're playing better baseball?
Right. Well, and two, I mean, we've witnessed this in the past. You win the first half, those guys leave. You have a completely different team in the second half for playoffs.
Right.
So.
Right. Exactly. So we were at the Twins game on Saturday.
I saw that.
And there were a few Griffin Jacks posters out there.
Nice.
So I'm like, look at that. And you know what the cool part was? I did text Craig this. I don't know if he told you. Somebody was wearing this hat.
Oh. Nice.
The new Express hat, because we were actually in a row by ourselves, and I looked to my left, and there was a group of people taking a picture, and the guy was wearing this.
Okay.
And I was thinking, okay, are they going to sit in our row? Because they kept pointing, and I was going to ask, but then they left, so I never had a chance. But I was like, what are the odds representing an Express hat at the Twins game?
I know some. One of our assistant coaches went on Saturday, and I know a couple staff members went throughout the weekend, but so
yeah, this was, I'll say my age, maybe a little older, but and yeah, he was with the group, but I wanted to ask if
something.
I didn't want to interrupt their, because they were pointing like, I was like, oh, they're sitting in this row, and then they never came back.
Dang.
So I was like, shoot, but I did text her. I'm like, hey, representing the Express here.
Yeah.
So, but that was really cool to see that. But yeah, Hudson was pointing out Griffin Jacks posters all over and Northwestern stuff, which Target Field too. I'll be honest, this was the first Twins game I went to. They did some Northwoods League shoutouts.
Oh, really?
And some highlights for Northwoods League stuff over there. I was actually like, oh wow, like that's kind of cool.
I've not been to Target Field in a few years. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I didn't even know the Brewers shortstop Joey Ortiz played in the Northwoods League, and they mentioned that.
Okay.
So I can't remember.
Did Griffin come in and pitch at all?
Did not.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they were doing some Northwoods League highlights in that. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's sweet.
Yeah, over there. So I think it's a good reminder too, because somebody actually told us, it was actually Veronica's friend. They were, and I know we touched on it earlier in the season, but maybe a good reminder, because they're like, does it cost $150 for 3 Express tickets? And we're like, no, well, what are you doing? And they're like, well, we went to this website. And I'm like, no. So maybe it's another refresher, because I think it's important for this, just to keep, if you want to go to an Express game, the easiest way, get it directly from you guys or Northwoods League, right?
Yes. Either go to eauclairexpress.com and click on order tickets online, call our office, 715-839-7788. Stop by our office, buy them at the ballpark. Do not buy them on Ticketmaster. Do not buy them on StubHub. Do not buy them on, when you type in Eau Claire Express tickets, don't buy them from any of those sites that pop up. Those are all your third-party tickets. They're going to work. They're going to get you in. But like you said, you're going to be spending $150 for on GA tickets.
Right. Exactly. And that's, correct me if I'm wrong too, but that doesn't even guarantee you can get your money back too, right?
Correct. Because it's not through us. So we can't.
You can't refund it. I mean, it's because it's not from you guys. So yes, please go to just get them directly from the
you're going to save your
Express.
time, yourself so much money, time, hassle, everything.
Yep. A couple, I know we'll probably talk about this when we're back, but maybe just put it on the calendar, because it is a big one. On July 9th, you have the home doubleheader, but for the kiddos for that first game. So if anybody's listening with kids, because we're going to plan on going over there, it's against the Hot Tots too, the Minot Hot Tots, but that's your doubleheader for Kids Day. In the morning, it's the goodie bag, but then Tyler's amazing balancing act is
that
later
night.
on that night too. So
and it's the second intern theme night, and they're talking about doing obscure jerseys.
Ooh.
So they're wanting people to wear like the craziest jersey that they have in their closet. And I was like, oh, easy. I have a Gregor Blanco jersey.
This, because you are from the Pacific Northwest, right?
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf, Washington State. I have a
Okay.
Ryan Leaf jersey.
Okay.
I only know 2 other people who have a Ryan Leaf jersey. And what are the odds? It's Justice Cleveland and Brandon Burke.
2 people that are here
Yeah.
in the Chippewa Valley.
Yeah. And
That
I
is
got mine
crazy.
on clearance when I was like in middle school. And it happens that so we
Okay.
might have to bust those out. That might be a night where us
Yeah.
3 have to go for
Yeah.
that. And then really quick too, July 8th before that, Margaritaville night.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that
so
one is?
we're gonna have Club Tales makes these malt beverages.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have some margaritas that are non-liquor
Mm-hmm.
for sale over in the Whipley Zone. And then I'm not entirely, the interns are in charge of planning the theme night, so I
Nice.
just know what I overhear.
Right.
And their big thing was like, well, if we can't have margaritas, I was like, well, we can't do anything with liquor because we don't have that type of license, but we can do these club tales that are malt beverages. So we'll have those. One's called Sunny Margarita, and the other one's a watermelon.
Nice.
Yeah. So those will be for sale in the Whipley Zone, and then the ballpark will be, dressed to its best luau themed. And hopefully we see a lot of people wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Absolutely. Dig those out, or you can probably go to a thrift store and find one too to
Oh
deck
yeah, I
out
bet
there.
you could.
Oh yeah, we did that one time when we were playing ball. We had to wear Hawaiian shirts, not the comfortable ones, the most comfortable to actually play
Yeah.
ball in, but
Yeah.
our manager sponsor was weird into that stuff. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming our way too here. Now that you guys have been on the road, you're going to be at home for a while, so make sure to get on to Carson Park because it's summer, and summer means baseball. That's the only sport that should be played in the summer is baseball, golf too, but baseball. So
Yes.
get on out to Carson Park, get those tickets, and check out some of these games and get some of the new swag over there too. So, Sammy, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. Have a good 4th because we won't be in next week.
You too.
And then because we'll see you at the ballpark. Really quick, you can tailgate at Carson Park, right? For before games. Because I've seen people tailgate there. Like every time we pull in, there's families tailgating and such. So heck yeah.
Yeah.
Before the game, have a little just water or such.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Some
it's
water.
a good environment over there. So absolutely. So Sammy, big thanks.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up with you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
We're going to take a quick break. RJ Cardinals coming up after these quick words. Summer is in full swing, and maybe the kids are spending more time at home, which means the food pantries are a little bit bare. Maybe you need to stock up the freezers with some extra pizzas and such. Well, how do you do that, and how do you save money at the same time? You just go visit our good friends Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. They offer fresh produce, quality meats, and a wide selection of everyday essentials, all in one convenient location. Don't forget, too, you can save some money at the gas pump with Hy-Vee Fuel Perks. Shop smart. Shop Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. Big thanks to Sammy for joining us here this morning, chatting some Express. If you missed any of that conversation, it'll be up later on today on a new episode of the All Aboard the Eau Claire Express podcast. So I don't know what you mean, Richie, by calling Greg weird. John, didn't forget about softball. I always, whether it's right or wrong, baseball, softball, I put in the same type of category and such. So, all right, let's switch gears here and chat a little Wisconsin Badgers, where there's always something kind of going on with the Badgers, it feels like. And our guy, Mr. RJ Cardinal, is joining us. So, RJ, first of all, how you doing, bud?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not bad, man. Not bad. I'm going to be out next week on vacation, so countdown's on to, a few days off and that. So I'm excited about that. So
early, like end of the week, kind of long week, or just
taking a whole week off. Taking a whole week off next week.
Nice.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but going to football here, because in a typical Friday news dump, it kind of seemed like it's last Friday. Yahoo Sports had a report that, well, the never-ending Xavier Lucas drama, that Wisconsin's filing a lawsuit against Miami. Big Ten has also come out in support of this and such. So for anybody who maybe doesn't know what it is or what's going on here, kind of give us a basic explanation. And what have you heard about this impending lawsuit?
Well, right now we don't know it's Xavier Lucas. It's Student Athlete A.
Oh, okay. Student Athlete A.
We don't know this is what it pertains to. But yeah, it's essentially Wisconsin suing Miami for tampering. So that's what it comes down to. The timeline in that Yahoo article, CBS Sports, Jesse Temple, he had a signed document of revenue sharing agreement that was going to be honored once the House passed everything. He was talking one day about the number he wanted when he comes back for the 2025 season, and less than 24 hours later, he called to let them know he intended to enter the transfer portal, where a family member of Student Athlete A let it be known they met with Miami coaches and a very prominent booster, and that's what led to this decision. Xavier Lucas also said his father was basically on his deathbed and needed to go, or gravely ill, however you want to term it, but that his father was sick. Apparently, Wisconsin was able to talk to his dad. His dad had no clue what was going on because he's fine. So there's a whole lot of drama. Miami on their side says no meeting ever took place. He just decided he wanted to go play at Miami, and Wisconsin didn't let anything happen. But there were also rumors about his family basically saying Miami's going to give him more money. All well, the window wasn't open yet for contacting students and people being put in the transfer portal. So yeah, there's a whole lot of things going on here. And it's one that the Big Ten backs Wisconsin on. I don't think they'd be going after this if they didn't have the backing of the conference. But yeah, it really seems that one way or another, there's either going to be a settlement where Wisconsin is going to get whatever compensation they lost out of this, or some sort of settlement on a court, or we're going to court and there could be a landmark decision in how NIL and all that's going to play out. Whether it becomes something where there's signed contracts, and you kind of have to honor those, or I guess student athletes become employees of the institution they're at. Which, I mean, if that's what they want, get ready for being able to get fired, kicked out of school, lose your job, and then good luck paying for a school. And contracts can be terminated when you don't play well. I mean, it's a slippery slope in how NIL got to be where it was, where the spirit of NIL was to be able to allow kids to have local sponsorships, be able to go get money when they go to sign autographs at like a local store or something like that, to where now they're having multi-million-dollar deals done and don't want any repercussions for it.
So, I mean, anybody thinking, I don't know if anybody's thinking this, but Xavier Lucas, they can't sue to get him back on the team, and that's not going to be ultimately what's going to happen, right? I mean, it's probably going to just be more of a compensation type of outcome, like you're saying.
Yeah, and they're not even suing Xavier Lucas. They are suing Miami for tampering. So
that's right. Player A.
I'm sorry,
Player A. Player A. So
yeah, so they're suing Miami for tampering with Player A, and yes, he'll probably have to. If this goes to court, he'll be brought in, and so will student athlete A's family. Yeah, it's a lot of fun reading the Miami boards and being like, you can't expect a kid to sign something and hold it up. What do you mean?
Right.
That kid's 18 years old. He's an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even if he didn't sign it and his parents signed it, your name's on a contract, whether it is for an impending thing or not. Like, you signed a piece of paper. Like, start holding up your end of the deal, bud. Because when you go to the NFL, and what we I think we talked about during the draft or shortly after the draft, the number of athletes who dropped in draft status because they just moved on from schools. Like, the NFL isn't interested in people who are just looking at money and going to the money places and getting a paycheck while they can, and not necessarily committing to something. That's not what they're looking for. So, like, kids got to start learning. And sure, we call them kids, but they're 18. Like, at that point in time, you can sign a piece of paper that can get you to go to war. You can sign a piece of paper that is a contract for a normal day job. You know, you can vote. You can do all this stuff. In the eyes of everybody, you're an adult. But yet, when it becomes this kind of situation, oh, he's just a kid. He didn't know what was going on. Then why'd you drop out of school?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so somebody's telling him to do something, and the fact that his lawyer is a NIL professor or teacher at Miami doesn't help his case. But yeah, it's one of those things. Depending on what happens with this suit, how it goes about shaping NIL moving forward is really what it's all about.
Do you feel like this is almost, because kind of what you're to feed off what you just said there too? I mean, do you think a lot of other schools and universities and athletic departments are going to be paying attention to this lawsuit and the college world too, to see how this is all kind of defined? And because I think it's still kind of a wild west with a lot of this stuff, right? So, I mean, do you think a lot of eyes are going to be focused on how this thing kind of plays out?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's going to come down to how you can actually contact kids before they're in the transfer portal. Like, his name wasn't in the transfer portal when he allegedly talked to the Miami coaching staff and a prominent booster who put money above what his offer with Wisconsin was. So it'll be really interesting, and everybody's going to be watching this. Like, it's not something you see a lot of people like ripping Wisconsin apart for. Everybody's dealing with this. So I think really they'd like Wisconsin to win this thing. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, depending on how, in the suit, it alleges they have text exchanges between Miami coaches setting up the dinner and all that. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of evidence is brought forth. And I mean, you're not filing a suit without good evidence, at least to be able to have it get this far. And I mean, they've been collecting evidence since December when this all started, and then we had the whole situation of not being entered into the transfer portal. So he dropped out, rolled in Miami, and this is where we are. So I mean, they did a nice little discovery period on themselves without making it known they were doing it for half a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, man, and this probably, I mean, we know how lawsuits kind of play out and such. It's not going to be decided, I would imagine, anytime soon at this point. This might be going on for a little bit.
Yeah, I think, I mean, you'll have your filing date coming up. Court date will be set. I'm not even sure where they did the filing at. I'd assume here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe we can CCAP it and see if that's if that's in the court circuit court yet. Wherever you want to read it, like you said, Yahoo, CBS Sports. We had Jesse Temple on last week or yesterday. And he talked about it, and got to read his article, and that's a good one, especially since he's now got like direct access to UW,
mm-hmm.
Working for Badger Connect. It's behind a paywall, so it's like $10 a month, or you get a discount if you purchase the whole year to read his stuff and all that kind of good stuff. But it's kind of a interesting situation. Because it has the ability to be a landmark decision in NIL that still really has no rules. I mean, the revenue sharing thing, I guess, kind of does, but that's not all directly NIL because it's not the collective; it's the university directly paying people now.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. RJ, I know there's been, staying with football, but there has been a couple of movements in terms of like recruiting and such. I saw that they picked up an in-state offensive lineman for the 2026 class. They lost out on a corner who's what's going to Syracuse, I believe it is.
Yep.
Any other updates on the recruiting class for Badger football?
I know they made a Final Four for a defensive lineman, maybe,
okay.
And then a Final Four for an athlete / receiver who, I mean, the receivers coach now who is taking place at Kenny Guyton while Guyton's sliding over to quarterback, apparently is doing well in connecting with kids. So to have a 4-star receiver looking out here. But yeah, it's one of those things up until they give a verbal commitment, and then really until anything's in writing. Nowadays, a person's word isn't really worth anything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We did have DJ Buh is going on an official visit to Mizzou after he verbaled to Wisconsin. I don't think it's going to be one of those where they tell him not to come back because they basically shut down their D-line after he verbally committed. So they kind of told other guys, hey, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that doesn't turn into him flipping to Mizzou. But that's out there too. But yeah, it's recruiting at its finest in the new age.
Right, exactly. So I mean, we're almost to July here, RJ. What kind of is like what does the football program do? What does the team do? Do they do anything when it comes to July? Because I mean, once we hit July, it's kind of like the countdown to August, and we're getting ready for football season. It seems like. So, do they get together in July? Are they doing workouts, or is it just kind of we're that's more in towards August?
No, they were actually back on campus a few weeks after graduation. So I know freshmen are already in town, at least scholarship. I don't know in preferred, and I think preferred walk-ons. But so they're doing their summer lifting and all that kind of stuff already. They'll do team or player organized 7-on-7s and things like that as they're gearing up to actually go to camp now at the end of July, since game one is August 28th. I think we're 52 days away. No, that doesn't sound right. It's 62?
62, yeah, that sounds
better.
better.
Yeah. So 62 days away from college football starting in Madison, and then I think Saturday the 23rd of August is the official kickoff of college football. So yeah, we're right around the corner here, and camps for those people will be starting mid-July, and Wisconsin will be the end of July, and so they're already back on campus getting ready for it all.
Wow. Oh man, it's going to be here before you know it, isn't it? So, jeez. So, RJ Cardinal, our Badger analyst, good stuff as always, buddy. We appreciate the time, man. So yeah, we're off next week, so we'll catch up with you after the 4th. So with that, have a good 4th and have a good start to the month of July, buddy.
Yeah. We'll talk to you then.
All right, sounds good. You got RJ Cardinal there, Badger analyst from our sister station, The Zone in Madison. Let's take a quick break. We got some picks. Will the Brewers win tonight? And then we'll play for a series win tomorrow night. What do you think? And then final call for any picks or for any comments, thoughts. Hit us up with a text. Comment on the video stream. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
Hey everyone, Dan Kasper here, and I got to tell you, I've been spending a lot of time at the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire, and honestly, it's one of the best spots around. Whether you're looking for a friendly place to relax, catch a game, or enjoy great food and drinks, they've got you covered. The atmosphere is welcoming, the people are awesome, and the events are always a good time. It's the kind of place where you feel like you belong right away. If you haven't checked out VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue, I highly recommend you do. It's quickly become my go-to spot in Eau Claire.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and more people are looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. Hi, John Murphy here for QC Kinetics. At QC Kinetics, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution since 2018. Using regenerative medicine, they have helped tens of thousands of people get lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. The truth is, regenerative medicine used to be an alternative treatment, but now it's mainstream, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader. Their well-respected protocols include potent and powerful cellular-level treatments to revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now, 715-443-4440, 715-443-4440. That's 715-443-4440.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Brewers Baseball Academy, presented by Fleet Farm, returns to cities this summer for its 13th year. Kids ages 6 to 14 are invited for a week of instruction and fun, plus a VIP day at American Family Field. Space is limited. Don't miss out. Visit brewers.com/camps for details. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
If Culligan isn't treating your home's water, you likely have water problems all around you, like hard-to-clean chalky residue on your shower, faucets, and bath, stains around your sink drains, spots on your dishes and glassware, plus dull, dried-out hair and skin, and problems you don't see, like scaly buildup in the water heater and pipes. But have no fear, you're in the clear with Culligan Products and Service. For all your residential and commercial water filtration needs,
visit CulliganH2O.com for your local Culligan water dealer.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
We all live on the same planet, but on different continents, countries, states, counties, cities, villages, and then our backyard. We take the world and we shrink it down at the 715newsroom.com to what matters here in your world. Local headlines, community connections, and things you care about. And we like to show you different sides so you can decide. Listen, with the to-do list and just lifing all the time, it can be hard. We get it. Getting headlines and news, that should be easy. We share the same planet. Get news for your world at 715newsroom.com.
If you played pickleball in regular sneakers, you know you can pay the price. They don't cut it. And Todd found this out the hard way. We have this great sponsor, Tyrell. They make the best pickleball shoes. So one day Todd is playing pickleball and he forgot his Tyrell pickleball shoes. Well, you know what happened? He got hurt. He was playing in some fancy different shoes that aren't meant for pickleball, and he learned a lesson. Tyrell has everything you need to keep your feet cool. They're tough, they're lightweight, they're so solid on your feet, and you're going to wear and tear on the court, and they're ready to go. Every detail is built to help you play better. Tyrell pickleball shoes. If you want to play longer, feel better, and stop sliding around in those old sneakers, go to TyrellPickleball.com. You can look like a pro. You can play like a pro. It's Tyrell pickleball shoes. You spell it Tyrol. Tyrell pickleball shoes, the best pickleball shoes, purpose-built for pickleball.
Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs feature helps you stand out and fast. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Bucks Talk from the 715. It's the 715 Bucks Tailgate Talk podcast. Available on your favorite podcasting platform.
If you're getting ready to hit the road for some family road trips, or maybe you got to do some traveling for some tournament ball and such, but you need to get your vehicle ready, as in oil change, new tires, maybe some brake work done, whatever the case may be, make your appointment today with AJM Automotive in Eau Claire, located at 1919 Brackett Avenue. AJM Automotive is your full-scale automotive repair place, small engine repair. So even with the lawnmowers, if the rider has some issues, you can take it on over. They can hook you up there too. They even offer towing services. I know you never want to get into a situation where you need a tow, but sometimes you do. Just give them a call to make your appointment or to get that tow. 715-835-9523. And John and his entire staff there, awesome people, so cool, so friendly, and seriously, I feel like they can fix anything. They worked on my snowblower. I've seen them do some work on some trailers and such, but give them a shout to make your appointment, 715-835-9523, before hitting the road for some family road trips, some family vacations this summer. All right, let's do some picks as we start to wrap up things this morning. By the way, you want to make sure you're following really quick, just a little plug here. Make sure you're following our YouTube page, Facebook as well, Instagram, because we're going to start off a new video series. We'll see if we get it loaded today, but we're actually going to start the recording today. Little sports town road trips where we're going to visit some sports towns in the 715 and do a little, just kind of highlight some of our sports towns and highlight some of the history that maybe you didn't know about those sports towns. So we're going to start that off. We're going to visit our first town today, and maybe we'll get it loaded up. Maybe I'll edit it and get it all loaded up today. Maybe tomorrow, but you want to make sure you're following the YouTube page because it'll be up there for sure. So just look it up, youtube.com /@ Dan Kasper, the @ like in your email. Okay. youtube.com /@ Dan Kasper, or Facebook.com/Kasper Sports, and then Instagram at Dan Kasper Sports. So, again, that might be. I'll work on it. Try to get up today, but probably tomorrow morning. But if you follow, subscribe, then you'll know when it's up there. So no worries. So, all right, let's do some picks. Baseball. Got a full slate coming at you here today. Before we get to the Brewers game, we're going to save that to last, like we usually do. By the way, Brewers game tonight, 6:40 first pitch. Coverage will begin at 6:05. You can listen to it on the radio dials, 105.1 FM and 790 AM. And then tomorrow we got a day game. That first pitch is going to be at 1:10. But tonight, 6:40. Rangers taking on Baltimore. Baltimore blanked the Rangers last night. I'm going to go. I'll go Rangers tonight. Athletics and the Tigers. Scooble, Severino. I'm going Tigers. Best team in baseball. Blue Jays taking on Cleveland. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays. They're playing good too. Atlanta taking on the Mets. Atlanta got a 3-2 victory last night. You got Spencer Strider versus Frankie Montas. I'm going to go with the Braves again. I think the pitching sets up well for the Braves. Let's go with the Yankees taking on the Reds. I'll go with the Yankees. Diamondbacks taking on the White Sox. Give me the Diamondbacks. Seattle at Minnesota. Can Minnesota get a win? They fell again last night, 11-2. I'm gonna go Mariners. Luis Castillo's on the mound, so I'm gonna go Mariners with this one. Let's do Tampa Bay and Kansas City. I'm going to go Tampa Bay. We got the Cubs taking on the Cardinals. Cardinals got a win last night. Brewers could have had a shot to move up a little bit closer in the standings and such. I'll go with the Cubs tonight, though. I'm going to go with the Cubs. Philly, Houston. I'll go Philly. Dodgers, Rockies. I'll go Dodgers. Red Sox, Angels. I'm going to go Red Sox with Garrett Groshette on the mound. Washington taking on San Diego. I'll go with the Padres. Miami taking on the Giants. I am going to go with the Giants. And then Brewers, Pirates, Andrew Heaney versus Freddie Peralta. Brewers win. Brewers better win tonight with Freddie Peralta. Put yourself in a position so that you can win the series tomorrow going up against Paul Skeens and Jacob Mizorowski in the mound. You have to win tonight's game. I don't want to lose this series to the Pirates at home. I don't want to lose that. So win tonight. Gotta win tonight. Gotta win tonight. All right, those are your picks for us for this morning. Coming up tomorrow, we'll do some stock reports. So think about that for a little bit, peeps. All right. Whose stock is rising? Whose stock is falling? That is your homework assignment for tomorrow morning. I want to hear from you. Stock reports. Whose stock is rising? Whose stock is falling? A big thanks to everybody who sent over your sports annoyances. I'll make this into a bigger podcast episode. All right. I'll probably do that, but, we'll put that up in a podcast, though, too, with all of your picks. So if you want your nominations included in our episode of the Man Cave podcast, you got until, a couple more hours to comment on the Facebook thread that's on my Facebook page. And then while you're there, if you haven't signed up yet for the Kasper Classic, you can take a look at the sweet new, bigger, and better title belts that we got this year. I mean, literally drag over your shoulder, have the sweet photo, selfie of you with your new title belt possibly. So get on over to sportstalk1051.com, get your two-person team signed up, and then you could be in contention for this year's. I'm telling you, you look at the last 4 years that we've done this, you don't need to be a pro golfer. Winning scores have been even over par, for crying out loud. All right? That's how we like it. That's how we want it. All right. Everybody's got a shot to win the title belt. So get to sportstalk1051.com and sign up your two-person team. And you're interested in sponsoring, if you're not a golfer, but you want to help, because this all helps backyard dreams. This all helps backyard dreams. Okay. If you're interested in helping, we really want to knock it out of the park with the knock it out of the park with the raffle prizes this year too, because those funds go directly to Backyard Dreams. If you're interested in helping that, like a basket or such, let me know. I will definitely we'll talk, and I definitely appreciate any help that you can provide us. So, all right. Big thanks to Sammy from the Express for stopping by. If you missed that conversation, we'll put it up in the All Aboard, the Eau Claire Express podcast later on this morning. The Express are on the road for the next couple nights here, taking on lacrosse. They will return back to Carson Park for a Thursday night game against the Lacrosse Loggers. Big thanks again to RJ, who was just on here breaking it down with that Badger lawsuit, that Wisconsin lawsuit to the University of Miami with the whole Xavier Lucas tampering situation and such. So I think we'll put that conversation up on our podcast too. So big thanks to RJ for breaking that down for us as well. Don't forget, you can subscribe and follow the Man Cave podcast, brought to you by Hy-Vee and Eau Claire, for all of our episodes. That includes Tailgate Outdoors. That includes separate episodes of the Man Cave podcast, the 715 Brew Crew Tailgate podcast, the 715 Green and Gold Tailgate podcast, the Kid Cave podcasts for the kids who love sports, that want to know a little bit more about sports too. So all those episodes are included in the Man Cave podcast. So check it out wherever you get your podcasts. Also available on YouTube. If you got a couple seconds, if you could, give us a 5-star rating and a positive review so others can find the podcast. Big thanks to all of you for texting in. If I didn't get to your messages, I apologize. I'll try to do better. We had a lot this morning, but I love getting your feedback and love chatting with you, so keep those coming. DP Danitz are up next. Have a good rest of your day. We'll be back at it again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, 6 a.m. We'll talk to you then.
You're listening to the Dan Patrick Show on WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1.
You're out, you're about, but you want your Dan Patrick. Well, good news.